Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Jessica Geiger. For those of you that are new here, welcome. I'm a youth pastor and a worship pastor at my church, so I'm really glad that you are checking out my YouTube channel today. Before we get started with this video, make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up and make sure you're already subscribed to my channel. That way you never miss a video that we do on here. So today I'm going to be doing something a little different from any of the other videos that I typically do. Also, I'm outside, so if you hear cars, just like ignore it. Anyways, I really wanted to do this video. I think it's an important subject and topic, and we're going to be talking about how to avoid burnout. Some of you who are subscribed to my channel, you're in ministry, you're a youth pastor, or maybe you're a student, and honestly this video is for everyone. Even if you're not in ministry and you have a job or you're a college student, really this video is for all of you. Obviously, when I share from my personal experience, I'm going to be talking more from the ministry point of view, so you'll be able to apply different bits and pieces of this to your own situation though, I promise. So today we're talking about the very fun and cheerful topic, burnout. Yay! So fun. I think this is really important to discuss though, because it's something we say a lot, well, I'm just really burnt out on this, or I'm burnt out at my job, I'm feeling a lack of motivation with my work or my school, my education, and I'm just feeling really burnt out. And so I wanted us to clearly define what is burnout, what causes burnout, and how do we prevent it. And maybe you find yourself in a place where you currently are experiencing burnout in your job or in a relationship with your friendships. And so this is a great opportunity for you to figure out, how do I move on from this point? How do I move forward with my life and get out of this emotional rut that I'm in? So burnout, it's that feeling when you lose passion for the thing that you once felt so passionately about. That's the definition I come up with for burnout. Is that in the dictionary? Probably not, but that's how I would define burnout. I think that burnout is when you lose passion for what you once were so passionate about. Maybe your education, now all of a sudden you're not passionate about it anymore. It's not inspiring you. Maybe your passion was ministry, and now you find yourself in a place where you're like, I can't even write one sermon. I don't even know what to preach about anymore. I don't know how to connect with my students. I don't even know what to say anymore. I feel burnout spiritually. I feel like I don't know what to pray about. I feel like I don't know what to read about in the Bible. So it's when you lose passion for the thing that you once felt very passionate about. Burnout can creep into every compartment of your life, and I think that this is so important for us to discuss when we discuss burnout. In our lives, we have these little compartments. Maybe you've got family, church, work, school, boyfriend, girlfriend, friendships, hobbies. You have all these compartments in your life, and maybe you're experiencing burnout at work. Well, if that goes untreated for so long, eventually you'll notice those feelings of burnout that you experience at work, they're gonna slowly start to creep into how you feel about your family, and then how you feel about your school, and how you feel about your friends, and how you feel about literally everything else going on in your life. All of a sudden you have no motivation for anything or anyone. Everything just seems so exhausting and too hard to do. So eventually everything just kind of starts to feel like a chore. It feels like a burden. It feels exhausting. It feels like it's too hard, it's too impossible, and you give up because the feeling of burnout is so exhausting, and honestly it can be really depressing sometimes. So maybe you're watching this and you're like, okay, well, how do I know that I'm burnout? How do I know that this is real burnout? Well, there's 3 sections that we can look at in our life to discover, are we experiencing burnout? Those 3 sections are physical, emotional, and behavioral. And if you're a Christian like myself, I would actually also add a 4th item to this list. I would add spiritual. So you can look at your life and you can look in the physical, emotional, behavioral, and spiritual. So let's start with physical. What are some physical examples of knowing that you're burnt out? Feeling tired all the time, feeling exhausted, feeling like you can never get enough sleep. That is a huge indicator. Like, no matter how many T-bombs or energy drinks or coffee you drink, it's not enough. Like, there's no energy, no amount of sleep can make you have the energy to get through your day. Sometimes also in the physical category, headaches, back pain, muscle pain, that can be a huge indicator as well that you're experiencing burnout. Okay, now moving to the emotional category, I think that this one is very telling of where you stand when it comes to burnout. This category is huge. Feelings of self-doubt, feeling like you're never enough, feeling like you can't work hard enough to achieve your goals, feeling like you're not capable, like you're the least qualified. Also feeling hopeless, like feeling like no matter how hard I try, I know it'll never get better. Just feelings of hopelessness is a huge indication of emotional burnout. I also think that detachment, like detaching yourself from your hobbies, your clubs, your friends, your sports teams, when you detach yourself from others, I think that is very telling of where you are emotionally, because you're so emotionally exhausted that it's like, I don't want to talk to anybody because everything is draining me. Decreased motivation is another one. Not having the motivation to get out of bed in the morning, not having the motivation to work on your schoolwork, or not working on that big project you have coming up at work. I think that is very telling of our emotional health and well-being. The last one in the emotional category, I would say, is an increasingly negative outlook on life. All of a sudden, you find yourself being a little bit more pessimistic. The glass is half empty. Things are terrible. Things are bad. It doesn't matter what good news you receive. Things are just very negative and gloom and gray. Now we're going to go into the behavior category. The behavior category is also a huge indication of burnout and where we stand with burnout. And you can actually also use this category to look at your friends or your coworkers and ask yourself, are they showing signs and symptoms of burnout in their life? Because obviously we don't know how anyone else feels physically or emotionally because we aren't that person, but we can look at how they're treating others, how they're acting on the exterior, and we can say, wow, maybe this person's going through a rough time. I need to help them out. So what it looks like in the behavior category, withdrawing from responsibilities is huge. When you all of a sudden find yourself like, I know I have to get this task done at work, but I am not doing it, I don't want to do it, it's not happening this week. When you find yourself saying, yeah, I know this is due, but I'm not doing it, not a good sign. Like when you know there's a homework assignment due, you have a project due, a big project that's like 50% of your grade, and you're like, I don't even care what happens, that's not a good sign. Another behavioral factor to look at is isolation. When somebody is all of a sudden isolating themselves from their friends or their teams or their hobbies, and maybe this person naturally kind of tends to be introverted, but if it's someone that's kind of like myself, that's very extroverted, very social, if all of a sudden that person is totally off the grid and MIA, check on them. And if you know that about yourself, like if you know, I'm really social and now I don't want to do anything or see anyone, that's a huge indication that you're experiencing burnout. Another indication in the behavioral category would definitely be procrastination. Now, I can't use this one to judge for myself if I'm going through burnout, because I'm the CEO of procrastinating things and putting things off for the last minute. Like, I could be thriving in my life and I'm still a procrastinator naturally. So if you're one of those people and that's just you all the time, take this for a grain of salt. But if you're somebody that likes to stay on top of your tasks and a to-do list and get things done, and you're very motivated and you like having deadlines and you like beating the deadline, and now all of a sudden you're putting things off for the last minute, that can also be used as an indication for experiencing burnout in life. The last one in behavior, I would say, is skipping work and class. So maybe you're a college student and you have this one class that meets a couple days a week, and now all of a sudden you're just not showing up to school. Like, you're not showing up to that class. Or all of a sudden you realize, I've used all my sick days for the whole year in the last week at work. This is a problem. When you start skipping work, skipping meetings, skipping class, skipping those things that are a part of your structure and daily routine in life, it's very, very telling of where you stand when it comes to burnout. Now, in the fourth category, like I said, if you're a spiritual person, if you're a Christian, I think this definitely applies to you. Now, in your spiritual time, maybe you realize, I'm not praying as much as I should be. I'm not reading my Bible. It's like a chore to pray and talk to Jesus. I'm lacking the motivation to attend church. I'm lacking the motivation, if you're a pastor, maybe you're like, I'm lacking the motivation to write a sermon, to be creative and come up with new strategies for outreach in our community. I'm just lacking all the motivation for all things spiritual in this category. Definitely take the spiritual category seriously, because we are both physical, but we also are spiritual beings. So we need to make sure that our spiritual health is also healthy, not just our physical, mental, and emotional health. So we just discussed, how do I know I'm burnout? Well, after all those tips and ways to identify burnout, hopefully you now understand if you're experiencing burnout, or maybe you're just tired because you didn't get enough sleep last night. I hope that I made this pretty clear. So now we're gonna be talking about what causes burnout. What contributes to those feelings of burnout in our lives? The first thing I'm gonna say, and I cannot say this one loud enough, feelings of lack of support from your friends and your family. This can also be a feeling of lack of support from your boss at work, from your teachers, from your coaches, from your coworkers. The list goes on of all the people that contribute to your life, that you do life with. If you don't feel like you have a positive support system from these people that play a vital role in your life, that will definitely cause burnout eventually. Especially if you're one of those people, you feel like you show up for others, you give to others, you pour into others, and you feel like nobody's giving you the same respect or care, it's easy to feel burnout by not feeling supported by others. This one, I'm gonna definitely point at myself, okay? I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys. Saying yes to too many things. I have been doing that since kindergarten, I'm not gonna lie. If there was a club or a team to sign up for, my name was at the top of the list. When you say yes to one thing, you're automatically saying no to another thing. And yes, that should be true, but in my life, I never let that stop me. So yeah, saying yes to too many things, it's exhausting. And eventually you will get burnt out because you are one person and you cannot do everything. You cannot be everything to all people. The next item on this list that contributes to burnout is poor self-care. Not taking care of yourself. Putting others' needs before your own, recognizing, oh, they need me, they need this from me, and refusing to recognize, I need this for myself. We truly are living in the day and age of self-care. Self-care is such a popular topic and discussion amongst our generation, and that's really good and it's really important. Honestly, I could do a whole separate video about what self-care is, how to do self-care, what self-care isn't. I could do a whole separate video on that, and I might. Because I truly believe that if we can't show up for ourselves, we are not capable of showing up for others. If you can't take care of yourself, you're not gonna be whole enough of a person to take care of someone else. So make sure that you are meeting your basic needs. That means getting 8 hours of sleep a night. I know, some of you are like, I get 4 hours of sleep. I don't have enough time in the day for 8 hours of sleep. Make time for that sleep. It is so important. Make sure that you're able to have time to have a hobby or talk to friends. Like, literally, self-care is very, very important. The next item on this list that definitely contributes to feelings of burnout is going to be work-life imbalance. So what I mean is your work and your life, and there's an imbalance of both. What does this mean? Well, we are about to discuss something that I'm currently learning a lot about this year, which is boundaries. Yay! We need to talk about boundaries. They are so important. Boundaries are like guardrails in our life that says you can only come this far on this topic. This person is only allowed to see this much of my life. And when we don't have boundaries, people are gonna walk all over us because we haven't put up those guardrails to protect ourselves. Sometimes you'll see that your workload is carrying over into your home life and it's interrupting your family time and time with your friends and time to do self-care, time to sleep at night because you're staying up late working on a project that isn't even in your job description, okay? Setting boundaries is so crucial to your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health. It is vital. And I may do a separate video on boundaries as well because it's so important for you. The last thing that can prevent burnout would definitely be a dysfunctional workplace or a school life dynamic. What do I mean? Maybe you have a teacher that kind of bullies you and tears you down. Or you have a coworker that harasses you and is kind of inappropriate with you. Or maybe you have a boss that's also a bully. I don't know. But what I can say to you is when these dysfunctional dynamics in our workplace and in our school life and environment are happening and occurring, it can be very depressing and discouraging and can definitely cause burnout. This is also why boundaries are very important, because when you establish boundaries, people know that they are not allowed to say certain things to you and that you do not appreciate certain comments and that certain comments are not constructive. So we are at the finale of this video. And this is the good news. This is the good part. This is the happy finale, okay? We all love a happy ending, and I will end with that. So we talked about what is burnout, what are signs of burnout, what causes burnout. Now we're going to talk about how to prevent burnout. And maybe you're already experiencing it, and that's okay. It's not too late for you. You have not lost all hope, okay? All hope is not gone. You can definitely apply these to yourself if you're currently in a season of burnout, or if you aren't in burnout yet, but you're like, how do I prevent feeling these feelings and emotions? Here are some tips. First item on the list, self-reflection and awareness. Boy, oh boy, is this important. It is so important to check in with yourself monthly, weekly, daily, and say, how am I doing? How am I feeling? Like I said, maybe you're somebody that procrastinates a lot, so when you're going through moments of procrastination, you may look at yourself and say, well, that's not very uncommon. That's how I always am. So you know yourself better than any counselor, than any boyfriend or girlfriend. You know yourself better than anyone else. And maybe you're like, oh my gosh, but I don't. That's where self-awareness comes in. We need to be self-aware. We need to know these are my likes, these are my dislikes. This is what I'm interested in. These are hobbies that are fun for me. These are moments where I'm thriving. It's important to know ourselves, and it's important to show up for ourselves by reflection. So I would recommend keeping a journal, documenting your emotions, maybe keeping an emotion tracker. Have a habit tracker in your journal. Track good things that you're doing, good habits that you've started for yourself. Track negative emotions that you're experiencing. Journaling is very important, and it's very helpful when it comes to self-awareness and self-reflection. Next item on the list, exercise regularly. Am I saying join CrossFit? No. Am I saying that you need to spend hundreds of dollars a month on gym equipment and gym memberships? Not at all. Go for a walk outside. Go take your dog for a walk. Maybe go hike or go walk in nature, ride your bike. Find an exercise that you enjoy doing, like that's fun for you. If you just like dancing in your living room and you want to put on Just Dance on the Wii, do something like that. But moving your body for 30 minutes a day is scientifically proven to increase your dopamine levels. So maybe you are like one of those people, you want to go hard and bench press and run at the gym. More power to you. But maybe you're like, I just like to dance around in my living room. That is also just as much exercise as having a gym membership. So make sure you're moving actively for 30 minutes a day, and make sure it's something that you enjoy doing. Next item on the list to prevent burnout, a healthy diet. I'm not saying you gotta do the whole 30. I'm not saying you have to do keto. But make sure that you're nourishing your body, that your body is getting plenty of calcium, it's getting plenty of vitamins. Make sure you're getting your fruits, your vegetables. Carbs are good, just in moderation. But don't cut out all carbs. Your body needs them. There are good carbs, okay? And maybe you're vegetarian. I'm not gonna tell you you have to eat meat, but get some protein, okay? Take care of yourself, nourish your body. And I will say this, fast food is junk food, and your body deserves better than junk. So make sure you're giving your body what it deserves and what it needs. And this is also a form of self-care. This one, y'all. Have enjoyable breaks throughout your day. What does that mean? Have a hobby. Have a hobby that you enjoy doing. Maybe you like to read. Make time for reading every day, a pleasurable book for yourself. Maybe you like knitting or volleyball, or you enjoy calling a friend on the phone, or maybe you like going for a run in your neighborhood. Whatever your hobby is, it could literally be anything. Whatever your hobby is that you enjoy doing, make time for that every day. Maybe right now you're on a time crunch in life and you only have 10 minutes a day where you can really just do something fun, but make sure you're making time for those fun, enjoyable moments in life, because if we don't, that will cause burnout. When we don't have moments to laugh with a friend, or laugh while reading a funny book, or doing something fun that we enjoy doing, that can be exhausting emotionally, and it can cause us to feel like there's no joy and pleasure in life anymore. The next item on the list, get enough sleep. Guys, get 8 hours. 7 at the minimum. Get 7 hours of sleep. Get more if you need more. If you're going through a season where you're just exhausted physically, treat yourself. Get a nap. Take a nap, okay? Maybe that's your fun hobby, okay? Taking naps. But make sure your body's getting enough rest and sleep, because it's very important. And your sleep, I could do another video on sleep and all the dysfunctions it can cause if you're not getting enough of it. So for now, I'll just abbreviate it and say sleep is important. The last item on the list to help prevent burnout is definitely having a positive support system in your life. whether it's a friend group or family members, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's a cousin, whoever. You need to have supportive people in your life. If the only people in your life are negative and tearing you down and bashing you and talking about you negatively, cut them out, okay? It is 2022. We are not here for the negative, toxic people anymore. And yes, cutting people out of your life is hard. Ending a friendship or a relationship is not the easiest task, and you may feel lonely for a season, but I promise you, at the end of that, God will bring more friends into your life, and friends that are positive and happy and optimistic. Yeah, friends that are optimistic, friends that want to have fun, that believe in you and support you and encourage you. That's what you want in life. So get a positive support system, because that helps prevent burnout in life. I hope this video was helpful to you in some way, shape, or form. Like I said, I am a youth pastor and I am a worship pastor. So I do ministry for a living. I absolutely love it. My degree is in behavioral science. I actually have a bachelor's in behavioral science. I really enjoy discussing mental health and counseling people and helping others feel better about themselves, helping people through just hard times in life, because guess what? It's brutal out here, in the words of Olivia Rodrigo. We all go through a hard time, guys. So I promise you, if you're experiencing burnout right now, you're not the first and you won't be the last. And there's people that can relate, okay? Like, I've experienced it, I felt it, we've all felt it, okay? So let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this video and if you would like more videos like this. If there's a certain topic you would like discussed or have advice on, anything like that, please let me know. I really enjoyed this video, and this was really fun to prepare for, and this was actually really fun to film. I'm not gonna lie, my hands are numb because it's like 40 degrees outside, but the lighting was good, and I was like, why not change up the scenery? So I froze for you guys. I'm even wearing cropped jeans right now, so my ankles are frozen. Anyways, I really enjoyed filming this video. I hope that you have a blessed day or night whenever you watch this, and I will talk to you guys really soon. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.